Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55. It's the Tier 9 American SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Halluf, and it's under the command of Oksydor of OLIMP. Now, he's a well-known streamer. He's also Polish, so that's why he's got the big Polish flag on the side of his vehicle, but he's also got 3 marks of excellence on the barrel of his howitzer. Now, his howitzer is capable of doing 900 alpha, penetrating 52 millimeters of armor. That's quite a lot. And it's normally got a reload time of 40.27 seconds, but we can see that Oksydor's got it down to 30.53. He's crowding out the corner with the Object 261. And the first enemy they've spotted is across the valley. It's Leopard 1. There he is. Now, he's got thin armor, so he is vulnerable to an Arty round. Rounds out. Oh my god, 2 hits! I suspect that round from Oksydor actually did pen him. Because although the Object 261 does have an 18 centimeter howitzer, it doesn't have as high an alpha as the M53, M55. Okay, we're almost loaded. The next target appears to be a Rheinmetall Panzer wagon. He's got very thin armor as well. It's always a good idea to select targets which have got thin armor, because you might get a pen. Here he goes, rounds out. Oh yes, right on his front! And he went right through. 890 hit points on that one. Yep, he definitely suffered. And there's the Object 261 firing one in as well. Looks like he went for the heavy tanks around the corner. So that Panzer wagon's probably not going to live very much longer, because he's missing most of his hit points now. He lost them all with one shot. Okay, who's next? There's the Panzer wagon. Very low. Oh, and he's gone. Yep, he did go. So we're looking at the E75, a T103. Now, he fired there, and it looked to me like the E75 went forward a bit, but he still tracked him and stunned him, and he's asking for fire on the stunned tank, but unfortunately we lost the stun before the rounds went in to do some damage. But looks like those heavy tanks did take some damage on that corner. He's hunting around for a new target. He's found a Skoda T50 and a Tiger 2. Now, the Tiger 2 is very difficult to hit, but the Skoda might be able to get him, but we lost sight of him. Now, I can understand why Oksydor's being cautious with the rounds. You only get 20 rounds of ammunition with the M53, M55, so you have to be careful that you don't blow ammunition away at targets that you could definitely hit, that you might not hit, rather. And oh, look at that Tiger 2. He came down the slope, and now he's got caught on that corner, and he's taking fire. We've spotted an Su-130 PM right up at the back of the map. But again, we've lost sight of him before we can open fire. Always important, Su-130 PMs don't have much in the way of armor. In fact, they're virtually nothing. And there's the Leopard. Look at that. He's only got 228 hit points left. So that shot from Oksydor must have devastated. Oh, he's out! First kill for Oksydor. He got him the side of his turret. Finished him off. It definitely looks like he penned him the first time, that first shot of the game. And the second shot just overwhelmed his turret, and that was the end of him. Okay, well, we've got a 257 there up against our 257. And the difficulty here is in trying to make sure that the shell actually hits the enemy, not us. But he put the shell behind the 257, but did splash his teammate. Hopefully that won't have any effect on the outcome of the battle. Unfortunately, there goes our 257. E75 and the other tanks are now starting to push through on the northwest corner. We're not loaded yet, but we will be momentarily. Okay, he's loaded. Going for the E75. Rounds out. That's a kill. Yep, it must have hit the front of the 75, overwhelmed his armor, and he was killed. Okay, well, Oksydor's doing the right thing to change position, not just because the enemy Arty, because there are two enemy Artys in the game, an M53 and a T92 HMC, but mainly down to the fact that it looks like the enemy's pushing through the northwest corner of the map, and he might have to find some cover to fire from. Rounds out. It landed in front of the Conqueror, but behind the other tank that was there, the IS-3, I think it was. Now, the enemy has suffered some damage from some of our guys, but Oksydor's decided he needs to get back into a different position, and that's a good decision. Got some nice cover here to work with. The Object 257 suddenly appeared, but he's been badly hit. In fact, he's very low on hit points, and there he goes. The Shrek on our team got him. We're down by one tank at the moment. The enemy does have the northwest corner of the map. It looks like our Manticore actually managed to kill both of the enemy Arty, so that's why we haven't been hearing from them. Lovely hit on the Object 430. Non-penetrating shot, but it did damage him, and he took some damage after being stunned. In fact, even more. Okay, he's decided to pull out, take his shot. Good idea to cover like that. If you're in a known bush, the enemy might decide to just fire at the bush, and if you stay in front of the bush, you obviously get hit. But if you can just move over to one side... Oh, he just got hit by Shrek! He fired his round in, killed the 430 with Splash, but the enemy Shrek came up the side of the valley and put a round into his side. He's covering from that position at the moment, and the enemy Skoda comes into sight. The enemy Shrek was killed, but we just lost our Shrek to their Skoda. Okay, so he can pull back now. The enemy's down to just two players left. There's Skoda T50 and the SU-130PM, and he was last seen on the other side of the battlefield. And I have the feeling that Oksydor feels that the SU-130PM is probably going to come up this direction. Not sure about that Skoda though. He hasn't been seen since he went to the corner. The Object 261 is still holding that corner. I had the feeling that that Skoda might be diverting straight through the valley, and it's going to pop up somewhere in this area. I think that's why Oksydor is looking this way. He's just having a quick check to his side. Settling the aim. His view range is 300 meters. There he is! Oh, a big hit, and he got a fire! His initial hit was 464, but he set right to the guy, and the Astron Rex is going in. There's the 261. The Astron Rex is going to take the kill. Yep, he gets him, but now the SU-130PM comes into sight. So he's crossed the valley, he just killed our Astron Rex. So it's two Arty versus an SU-130PM. And remember I said that that vehicle has virtually no armor. Oh my god, this is going to be really tight. Now, calm, let it settle, ambush him. Yes! Wins the game! Fantastic shot by Oksydor. Brilliant win. Well done. Now, you might think that this was a pretty spectacular game, and it would be for just about anyone else, but for Oksydor, that's the sort of game that he has regularly on his Twitch stream. Yep, he does that on a regular basis, so he's getting these sort of results, like an ace tanker in the M53, M55, a fighter badger getting at least 4 kills, he got 4 exactly, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, he got 17, a gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle, and yes, he did pick up the high caliber, even though he splashed his 257 teammate, he managed to put the shell behind the enemy tank, and shield his own T257 from most of the damage, and so he still got the high caliber. 8,570 win 8, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he definitely got the highest damage in the game. Look at that, 5,202. The next highest player didn't even get over 4,000. And that was the Conqueror on the enemy team, who managed 3,829. And the third highest damage went to the Progetto 46 with 3,605, and he got a Confederate. When it came to kills, it was the Manticore who did the best. He was killing the Arty on the other end of the map. In fact, he picked up a Pascucci's medal for killing both enemy Arty and 5 kills, whilst Oksydor managed to get 4 kills, and so did the Object 430 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, well, he got that one with 1,275. 1,047 went to the Shrek, and 1,002 went to the Tiger 2. The Astron Rex managed to get a Leather Slayer's medal, so obviously he was killing higher tier opponents during that game in a light tank, so well done to him. The Progetto, I think I did mention he got a Confederate in that one. But only 3 players managed to get over 1,000 base, and yes, it was Oksydor right at the top. Let's have a look at detail. He fired 11 rounds, so just over half his ammo in the game, 7 direct hits on the enemy, and 3 penetrations. Well, we know which one was one of the penetrations. That was the SU-130PM at the end. Look at that, 830 hit points from a direct hit. There was no way he was going to survive that. It was a piece of very, very cool play, because he could have fluffed that if the aim had been slightly off target. But he manually aimed, and then he auto-aimed onto target right at the last split second before he fired, and the shell went right to the SU-130PM and wiped him out to win the game. Very well played. The other tank that, of course, he did definitely pen was the Leopard. And look at that, he actually must have done close to 900 and maybe 920 hit points of damage on the Leopard with his first pen shot as the guy was moving. We lost sight of him, but he put the round in, and it did actually pen the Leopard, but didn't kill him. It left him on only about, 220 hit points, or 225. And of course then Oksydor was able to finish him off with that shot that went straight through the side of his turret. The other tank that he managed to pen was the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Yes, of course, he managed to get 890 off him, and that shell hit the side of his vehicle at the front, where he's very thin on armor. It just went right through. That guy must have been really sick. So he got 2 pens with his first 2 shots in the game, and then picked up another pen right at the very end of the game to win the game. Very well played indeed. He also got 9 splashes on the enemy, 5,202 hit points of damage, of which 3,421 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see a fair bit of damage was done at very close range. He also received 1 hit. It was from the enemy Shrek. It did penetrate him, I'm afraid. There was nothing he could do about that. That guy just popped up out of nowhere on the valley and put a round through his side, but luckily he did get into cover. He damaged 8 enemy vehicles, killed 4 of them, did 62 hit points of damage assist and 871 hit points of stun assist off 6 stuns. Not a lot of stun assist, but it's enough to help with the ace tanker. 63,735 credits from the game, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, still made a profit of 24,538 credits on a premium count, 25 bonds, and 1,912 XP times 2 for the first victory, took away 3,825 experience points altogether. Yes, as I say, I follow Oksydor online. In fact, whilst I'm working, I've normally got the other computer running so I can actually see Oksydor's games. And this is a regular sort of game for him. This is the sort of results he gets. And unfortunately, up until now, he's not been able to send us a huge number of replays, because most of the replays he's uploaded went to what replays, and what replays have ceased to function. Well, it's not working correctly at the moment. They'll probably fix it later on. But certainly the Salty Jedi site is working, and thankfully Oksydor's managed to send us a few so we can actually enjoy some of his battles, especially ones, exciting ones like this, where he wins the game with his last shot, and his first shot of the game pins an enemy for a huge amount of damage. Always like seeing Arty games like that. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.